this is a roll of parchment. Skin. In fact, if you can look at it, you can still see where there was once hair growing on this and it's been shaved off. It's also the scroll of a biblical book. This is, in fact, the most common biblical book that survives in scroll form because it is a scroll of the Book of Esther. A scroll is obviously something that we roll. That little piece of paper, that little piece of skin there is designed to protect it. It's the first sheet and it's called the protocol. We roll it out and we find the first column. And we keep rolling and we go from right to left. We keep rolling until the end. And the last sheet is called the eschatokol, literally the last piece glued on. And the length of each sheet is determined by the length of the back of a sheep. And there is the glue where one sheet is glued to the next. But an Esther scroll is not just the scroll of one book from the Bible, and it's certainly more than just a scroll of parchment plus writing in Hebrew. It means something far more, and with me to talk about that, what more it means, is Rabbi Mendy Lent. I've described it as a paleographical object. Now you tell me what it is as a religious object.
The Scroll of Esther, towards the end of it tells the story of the persecution of the Jews in Persia when they were going to be exterminated by the evil Haman. Eventually, once the story flipped on its head and the Jews were able to survive and were victorious in the battle, we're told at the end that a few things were established to commemorate this story, this miraculous victory. And one of those we read at the end, Mordecai, who is the hero of the story together with his niece Esther, commands that Kol divrei ha'igeret hazos, all the words of this story will be written down in scroll form. So you have in the story itself the commandment to write this down in a scroll for generations. So obviously that was done immediately and then passed down through the generations. In contrast to the Sefer Torah, the main books of the Bible, the 5 books of Moses, which are exceptionally expensive to write. They take approximately a year, so you can imagine you're paying someone's salary, a scribe's salary to pay for that. So they are rare and they'll only be found in synagogues. Yet the Megillah, because it's much shorter, it's much more affordable, and many families...
The Megillah being the technical name for the Esther scroll.
The Megillah, the scroll, yes. That is something that many families will have, and people are encouraged to try and have their own copy. In the religious world, many people will have their own copy. So it's something that it's rare, it's an opportunity to have a biblical scroll in your own home. Whereas all the scrolls originally, all the books of the Torah were originally in scroll form, they all later became adapted and printed as books. Whereas the Megillah is still traditional to have an actual scroll copy. So it's something very, very special. And again, the story and the commemoration of that is really what makes it so special. I think the story it tells and how it's used every year is really what makes it so wonderful.
Can you read us a little bit of it?
Of course, I'll read the little bit that it talks about.
I couldn't think of a better. You'll read the little bit instructing.
It talks about writing the scroll. Let's just get that.
And of course, one of the problems with scrolls as opposed to books is it's always harder to find your place in a scroll.
So, okay, here we go. Okay. Al kain karu le'amim ha'ele porim al shem hapor al kain al kol divrei ha'geres hazois umara'u al kacho mohigia alehem kimu v'kiblu hayehudim alehem ve'al zaram ve'al kol anavim alehem v'lo yavar le'oisosim eshnei hayamim ha'ele kichsavam v'chizmanam b'chol shana v'shana.
Mendy, thank you very much.
It's been a real pleasure.